Good to begin. Board meeting today is Monday, October 23rd. I'm Sabrina Dunlap, and we have Stephen Whitley, Ken Trom, and Thomas Lapoma, and Jeff Donahoe might join depending on his flight. What is that picture?
Oh, we'll get to it.
Oh, okay.
It was takes me so long to
Yeah.
get it up, so.
All right, so first up, points of pride.
Sure, first on the points of pride is, if you look up, you'll see a picture of the clerk's office. And what you see is two workstations with a center section. Christine designed this and Dan, our buildings and grounds person, built it. And
Looks nice.
oops, I didn't really want both, but that kind of shows the workstation. And then over. There we go. And this is here.
Hmm.
And that's it.
Well, that's exciting. So is that gonna have something go there?
Yeah, if I could get to the other two pictures. There's that and
They're there?
Yeah.
Oh,
there,
oh,
finally,
wow.
getting closer to being done. So,
Oh, yeah, I see now.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Huh,
so thank you. Everybody in the office has been working and Christine came up with the ideas of the license plates, which I think looks good.
oh,
So
yeah.
here's been
that.
working hard to do this.
Love the interior design. Well done.
That's it, little by little. Also, the highway crew was out doing their prep for winter spot paving,
Mhm.
paving and shimming, really just shimming. So that has taken place. That 2 weekends ago, not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before was the fire department open house. They had a good turnout there. And this past week, the housing committee finished their, I think it was 6 forums, all with good attendance all the way through. So I think they've gathered a lot of good information and they have a survey that's posted on our Facebook page and on the website to go in. We're having a little difficulty accessing it from a phone. You can get in from a computer. So if you're having problems on a phone, try the laptop or the desktop. I think that's it for points of pride.
Thank you. Ken.
I had been in Friday and seen what has been done at the clerk's office, and it looks great. It looks like it should be a much more productive and open workspace. So I think that was great. And I had been to one of the housing committee forums, and I thought it was very good in terms of laying out the different thoughts and all, and getting
Mhm.
input.
Great. I'll just say thank you to the school board for our joint meeting, Norm. That was 2 weeks ago now, I guess. It's always good to connect with you guys. Anyone else? All right. So first under administrative, we have approval of the consent agenda.
I move we approve the consent agenda of October 23, 2023.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, approval of the public meeting minutes from October 10th, 2023.
So moved, the public meeting minutes of October 10, 2023.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right. We have 3 non-publics. Approval of non-public meeting minutes of October 10th, 2023, session 1.
I'll move and note they're sealed.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? All right, approval of non-public meeting minutes, October 10th, 2023, session 2.
Again, I'll move and note they are also sealed.
I will second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Okay. Finally, approval of non-public meeting minutes of October 10th, 2023, session 3.
Again, I'll move and note again, they are sealed.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Anyone opposed? All right, thank you. First up is our 5:30 public appointment with Sarah Pacino and Christine Johnson regarding town meeting date. Thank you for joining us, Madam Moderator. And Christine. Okay. Town meeting date. Would you like to share your thoughts?
So it's the board's call and it's up to the board, but you invited
Yes.
them for their input.
Would you like to give us your input?
I'd love to hear what you all are thinking. I know Ken has a conflict for one Saturday in March that we may all have.
If I can expand upon that, for a number of years now, I've put together one Hopkinton team. We've had two teams from Hopkinton in the Granite State Independent Living Wheelchair Basketball Tournament. And I view at least our team as being a team building concept in that we have representatives of the select board, the school board, the budget committee, the moderator, town administrator, and legislators on there. So that's unfortunately scheduled for Saturday, March 23rd this coming year. So I would strongly prefer it not be on that day.
And Neil or anyone remind me, school is Saturday, March 9th. Is that
Correct.
right?
Yep.
Okay. So I think, I mean, we put out a sort of high level survey a few months ago, and it's clear people don't love back-to-back Saturdays, but it seems like the 23rd would have been an obvious choice to not do back-to-back Saturdays, but given your conflict, that doesn't seem ideal. And I'm not sure having a single Saturday in between actually is all that helpful because it's still 2 Saturdays in March. So we had talked about maybe a weeknight, but I would love to hear your thoughts on that potential.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's unfortunate. I don't think the survey gave us the information you all might have needed to make a decision because there were some days from our end that were unworkable to do it the Tuesday of election day or even the Wednesday or Thursday after, because we have so much paperwork for the Secretary of State's office that we have to complete in the 2 days after. So I think, Christine, correct me if I'm wrong, I think for us, it would be really hard to do it that same week on a weeknight.
Right. And that was a mistake because it was supposed to be the week after. So what about a weeknight the week after?
We, when we talked with Neil, the Saturday after or a weeknight the following week works on our end in terms of workload. I think if you choose a different day that isn't, the Saturday that we all have come to expect, it's going to be really important for us to just do public education around that. So I appreciate that you're setting the date early. I know there are a lot of questions about election dates next year, and we're only in control of one. So I'm really grateful that we can do that and then hopefully be really united and letting people know when it is if there's a change.
Thoughts on?
I mean, I feel like the survey, although not perfect, I mean, there was a large amount of people that did not like the back-to-back Saturdays. And we've heard complaints for a couple years now that doing it on Saturdays precludes those that work from being able to attend or have other obligations on a Saturday. I mean, a weeknight, we're just gonna move that inconvenience to a different population of the town. But I mean, I feel like we should seriously consider a weeknight as opposed to a Saturday. Because we've done Saturdays the last couple years, or at least as long as I can remember. And if we're not able to do the 23rd, then I think we should look at a weeknight, the week of the 18th. And I don't know if there's days you'd like us to avoid weeknights. I mean, probably not a Friday, for instance. I don't know if you have any other input on.
Friday
request
definitely
not a
came in the
Monday.
lowest.
What was that? I'm sorry, Christine.
I might request not a Monday.
Okay, Yep.
At least in my office, Mondays and Fridays, well, Friday's a half day, but Mondays are usually a pretty busy day. So to be able to set up for election and all of that, it would be a little more of a challenge. Not election,
Town meeting.
town
Okay,
meeting.
yeah.
I knew what I was talking.
Well, it's because usually an election is on Tuesday.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the comments, and a lot of so, you know, some of the themes will exist, whether it's a Saturday or a weeknight. Like, it's too long. I don't like sitting.
I mean, I
But,
think the immovable reality is that town meeting was established in a very different time in our culture where people had weekends a little more free and we don't. And weeknights are hard for people who work and who have kids' sports obligations too. So whatever day we pick will not be perfect.
correct. And we will probably continue to have under 5% turnout. That's very pessimistic of me. Maybe it'll be better. It seems to have been stuck at something under 5% the last few years. Neil, have you, like, do you know, because I know some towns have done weeknights. I think maybe even Hopkinton used to. Was that ever in your time?
No, it's been
Okay.
on Saturdays. I've worked in a town that did it on a
Mm.
night.
And any thoughts on,
And they had always done it on a night, so
Huh.
it was normal.
Thomas, any thoughts?
I know this, I mean, the Saturdays I know can be really hard for some people, but I'm not sure if weeknights are gonna be any easier, but I'm also not opposed to just trying something different. If there's no strong preference for one versus the other, I almost kind of think try something new. But
Listen, I have not lived through a single precedented election or town meeting. So why would I want this one to be easy?
That's valid. What's the situation with our proximity to the school meeting? Like, they have already chosen the 9th, but somebody in here said, could the town go first? Is there,
Yeah, I'm not sure it matters, but we cannot go before the Tuesday, the 12th is the first part of town meeting, so we can't go before that.
right, okay.
They can.
How far away from the 12th can we get?
August.
We,
Did it in August? I'm not recommending that.
and last year
I-
we had a longer than.
Almost, I think Mondays are bad too. I would almost go with the following Tuesday.
Tuesdays
You're
are
looking-
voting days.
Yeah, just
You mean the 19th or the 26th?
the 19th.
Yeah.
I thought I saw a hand behind me.
a comment about it's likely, there's,
We have a
well,
scheduled school board meeting that day, so we would not be able to help out with ballots and all that stuff.
Oh,
yeah, that's the thing about weeknights is that there's always a bunch of other meetings happening, except for, actually, we looked at this when we were looking at housing committee. The first and third Thursday are generally pretty clear.
That's important information.
Yeah.
this is the week of the third Thursday.
So it'd be the 21st.
There might be a housing committee meeting then. But
I would guess all the committees could reschedule.
Yeah.
Town meeting.
but when I
6 months notice.
I remember diving
Just
deep on
a
the
thought.
calendar and Thursdays were generally pretty clear of other stuff.
Did you have a comment, Catherine?
Just historically, that most of the time we lived here, it was an evening meeting Tuesday.
Huh.
Until one year when it went till 1 in the morning. And that was the
Oh. Ah.
That was an exception. An anomaly, but so.
Okay.
Yeah, we had done it here. for many years.
That's good to know. I mean, I guess conceivably a Saturday morning meeting could go till 1 a.m. too. I mean, it's possible.
My first one went till 5,
I was gonna say, I
Nine-
went to dinner.
9 to 5.
Oh, okay. Do you have, so like if we did a weeknight, we'd start at what? would be
6,
6?
probably.
Do you have concerns with that? Like logistically? No?
No, I think my big request would be regardless of when we do it, that we still do childcare. Cause I think
Mhm.
that that will be important.
Mhm.
Okay.
Do we have an idea if this is gonna be, if we expect to have a lot of warrants.
If we're going till one AM, you
Yeah.
mean? Yeah.
Like if it's gonna be a long, one, maybe don't treat this one to be a weeknight, but
Or maybe we do.
As long as mine the first.
I would say you never know till you get closer to January, because
Yeah.
I think last year we thought it would be longer
Right.
and it wasn't so much, but
and we'll likely have something about the transfer station agreement, but
I'm gonna have community power.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that's not gonna be particularly long, but
yeah, same thing.
I mean,
don't see
the
your-
budget and what the tax impact is wild card at this
Yeah.
point.
Well, what do you think about a weeknight, Ken?
I'm fine with Tuesday, the week after the election, 6 o'clock start.
Thursday, I thought was our,
I think we're saying that even though that may be the normal meeting date for many boards, if we set town the business session, then
Tuesday, the 19th.
those other boards can reschedule that meeting. At least that's our suggestion. But the school board meets that evening. So Norm,
Right.
if we did that, would you guys try to move the school board meeting then?
That's a chair thing. That's when we have a reorganization board
Okay,
based on the calendar.
maybe it should be Thursday then.
Okay, yeah, I'm fine with Thursday too.
It's fine by me.
And you're saying 6 o'clock?
6 o'clock. Okay. And there's no like
Thursday, March
21st.
21st
No,
at 6 PM.
holiday or anything there, right?
It'd be exciting.
It's the solstice, right? Is that the
Oh.
solstice?
Hmm.
Am I doing my math right? I think so.
Is that the first day of spring, actually?
Yeah,
That's
that's kind
exciting.
of nice.
New beginnings. Oh yeah, okay, because then the next week you get into some, I think the next week is when you get into some holidays. All right.
And I think I had mentioned this to Neil too. It's just the earlier we communicate with the school, which you always do so well.
Now that we have it set, well,
No, Mr.
Now, if you
Reserve
could
is
give me-
scheduling everything and I've already ruined January
if you
for
could give
him.
me the primary date.
You know,
Yeah.
Mr. Reserve would like that as well. You can all call Secretary Gardner and Iowa.
All right, are we doing this? 3/21/24, 6 PM?
All right, should we start the Facebook event now so we can all spread the word?
I'll be part of it. Okay. Guess we're doing it.
We need a
Spread the
motion.
word.
Let's,
I feel like you all should vote on that.
I'll move that we set town meeting date for March 21st, 2024 at 6 PM.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, it's unanimous.
Okay.
Thank you. Spread the word. Very exciting. Okay, we have a 6 o'clock public hearing, and since we're not quite there yet, is everyone good if we move to old business? So under old business, we have the 2024 merit pool discussion, which I think we had bumped because we hoped Jeff would be here, but he's not. So I guess it goes on without him. Thank you.
I don't know if you gave us this, Neil, but what have we done the last couple years?
last year was, let me just grab that. It was 6.5.
Okay. Okay.
Twenty 2022 was 3.5. 2021 was that was a COVID year. It was a 1.5% COLA. We did not do merit. We did the COLA. 2020 was 3%. 19 was 3%, 18 was 3.5%, 17 was 4%. 3, 3, and 3. Back to 2014.
My thoughts are for where this is, preliminary still, that we use 3.2, which is the social security increase. Stressing that's preliminary.
Mhm.
That is, remember, it's a merit pool that goes out. So you
Yes,
didn't want
as
to,
a
you
merit.
didn't want to use the 9% for social security last year.
I would have loved to have.
And I don't have a lot of information from other towns. It sounds like they haven't set that, but I do know with the labor shortage that we definitely want to stay competitive.
Mhm. I was thinking at least 3.5, if not starting at 4.
Was kind of thinking 4.
Yeah.
I don't have well-formed thoughts.
Okay. It's fair. Does
And-
4 seem more in line with
It,
what,
it seems more workable
yeah,
and the other thing is certainly it's preliminary and as you go through, it's not going to go up.
right, I
It
know.
would only go down.
I mean, I echo Neil's sort of observation about the labor issue.
Mhm.
And I know that we've had positions in town recently that have been tough to fill. So I just think preliminarily, I think 4 is a good number to have in there.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Recognizing it's preliminary, I want to argue.
Okay. Do we need a motion or anything for this, or is this just a,
I can put it in at that.
okay,
I think that's, you'll vote on it eventually.
okay. All right. Good to move on from that. Do you think we can do a budget committee update in 8 minutes?
I think we can do in about 2.
Okay.
Actually, the meeting went quite smoothly. At Neil's suggestion, the committee voted to invite a representative of the New Hampshire Municipal Association to come to talk about the role of the budget committee and how it fits in with, the school board, and the select board, because it's been an issue that we've committee members have talked about for years, and I always complain about some committee members wanting to micromanage what is the responsibility of the school board or the select board. So I'm hoping that the municipal association representative can respond to all concerns and convince everybody just how far the where one committee's responsibility ends and the next one starts.
I would just say, once we have that date confirmed, we'll also invite the select board and the school board and the precinct commissioners, because they're all an integral part of that.
Thank you.
Okay, great. Well, we still have 6 minutes, so move on to meeting streaming requests.
Sure. Did you see that in there? There was a request. So I just brought it to the board, and I'm not sure you can order committees to do it, but if the board wants, on behalf of the board, I can encourage all the committees that meet here to use the live streaming or at least the recording.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I
that
was
they're
wondering about
available.
that. I actually myself was looking for a live stream of the planning board because I couldn't be here in person.
That's what this came at.
Yeah,
That's what the
and-
email was based on.
So like, is it as easy as just miking up and getting the,
Yeah, everything's set up.
yeah, okay.
So,
But I mean, I'm in favor of it, but I guess I just, so if you're not here, then someone else needs to be responsible for knowing how to turn everything on and off. And then, I mean, at the end of the evening, doing something with the laptops
and turning it off. And there are people that can do that.
Okay.
So, yeah. So on behalf of the board, I'll just say that you're recommending that gets done and offer assistance to make sure there's people at every meeting that know how to do that.
Have there been requests other than for the planning board?
No, that was the first, and that was a public hearing, so I think even more so with that had a lot of interest. So I think
Mhm.
that was
Mhm.
one reason it was
I mean, I think it'd be really
requested.
great if any board meeting in this room where it's all kind of set up. That was videoed and preserved. So people could watch it.
and we'll for most meetings, we can do a simpler setup that just has the overhead camera and the
Oh, yeah.
sound and but the recording sound is much better with the microphones.
And there's no, is there like a state statute governing recording? I mean, it doesn't mean you have to allow public comment over Zoom or anything, right? Yeah, okay.
No,
So it
and-
really
and-
doesn't,
No, and this is really just recording and streaming. It would not be two-way.
yeah, okay. Okay, well. I think a recommendation seems pretty reasonable. Okay. Neil, do you want to take 3 minutes for town administrator update?
Sure. Let's see. Work on the barn is continuing. We're still waiting for some numbers to figure out about the roof. As soon as we get those, we'll know if there's enough money to do the metal roof or the asphalt shingle. The inspection for asbestos was done at Horseshoe Tavern. There's just a little in there, so we're arranging that. There was some tile in one place and a little bit in some of the glazing on the windows. So that's getting taken care of. I've been working with New Hampshire Saves Eversource. They've hooked us up with Margaret Dillon, who will do energy audits on the town buildings in January. She's highly recommended and I've heard of her before, so that's good. The work for the RPT grant, which is the rail trail grant coming from Kearsarge to Houston Field, is progressing. The trees are down and I haven't checked to see if the work has begun yet. And really, it has. Okay, Ron's here. Good. For the other portion, and then most of my time's been on budgets as we get ready. Within 2 weeks, 2 weeks from tonight are the first budget meetings here. So we're finalizing everything and department heads will meet. We always have lunch together and go through all the budgets just so everybody's aware of the big picture as we do that. We're also scheduled probably be the second week in November, the joint CIP meeting with Hopkinton and Webster CIP committees. So that's being scheduled. I think that's most of it.
Okay. Well, I think we're good to start the public hearing on conservation land acquisition. Okay. It's still not quite 6. I'll just say this will be the public hearing concerning the Conservation Commission using funds from the Conservation Fund to acquire property on Beach Hill Road shown on the town of Hopkinton on the tax map as map lot 259-029-000. And this acquisition requires select board approval.
6 o'clock.
All right, there we go. At 6 o'clock, we'll officially start the public hearing. Does anyone on the board have any comments first? Okay. All right, if anyone would like to speak about this acquisition, now is your chance. All right, that would be helpful.
I'm Rob Knight from the Conservation Commission. And I think, as you said, it's a 17-acre parcel of land on Beach Hill Road. And it's a gift to the town from Carol Parmenter. I believe the Parmenters grew up in the house that the Faulkners have now. And it was all, I believe, all their land. Anyway, the purpose of the gift is to preserve and protect the wildlife habitat on the property. And so it comes with a deed restriction. The restriction does not allow for any construction or development or timber harvesting. And the property, as is our practice, was reviewed by the Open Space Committee using their selection criteria checklist. And it was ranked as a worthwhile property due to its location abutting the Kimball Farm conserved land. And that's all the green up there. And the scenic and rural character of Beach Hill Road. Specifically, the land buffers and expands other conservation land. It provides travel corridors for wildlife. And you don't see it there, but on the Fish and Game wildlife maps, there's a corridor going across between the different conservation lands up there. And it protects the scenic and rural character of Beach Hill Road, which I know many of us use for walking up and down or bike riding, or whatever, a nice country road. So for these reasons, the Conservation Commission would like to accept this gift and has agreed to pay Carol Parmenter's legal expenses for preparing the deed, which was $3,600. And other than that cost, the property is a gift to the town.
Can I ask
Yeah.
how does the deed restrictions, how do those mesh with Kimball Farm properties that are surrounded on a couple sides?
I think they're quite different. I think the Kimball Farm was L-chip or the predecessor to L-chip. And they had, I imagine, typical conservation easement
Okay.
restrictions. I think the big difference perhaps is that there wouldn't be farming or timber harvest allowed.
Right.
This purpose is wildlife habitat.
Okay. Thanks, Rob.
Quick question, more just curious about the process. So you mentioned that looking at this plot, going through the process, this is recommended for conservation, or what was the term?
Has conservation value.
Conservation value. What would make something not, really just honestly curious, what would make something not have value for conservation? Like what are the types of things that would rank it low on that scale?
Well, I can give you an example. Down on the corner of Courier Road, we were also got a lot of land, a 10-acre parcel. Do you remember that?
Right, yes.
And that parcel, it was developed on the side beside it.
Yeah.
It was too small to have much value. There wasn't conservation land surrounding it. So it didn't really have conservation attributes. So I had talked to the donor and suggested that rather than putting a conservation easement on it, he donate it and the money could be used for something else.
Right.
So that's the sort of thing, too small. And this is a fairly small parcel, but you can see it's got a kind of critical location, expanding the other conservation land.
Got it. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I've got a question. This is also a joint hearing with the Conservation Commission, right?
Yes.
Good.
Thank you for noting that. All right, thank you, Rob. Anyone else would like to speak on this? Now's your chance. Come on up.
Microphone or? Oh, okay. My name is Ron Komarczyk, member of the Conservation Commission. One of the reasons is, as Rob said, is that protect the wildlife, and wildlife biologists say that large contiguous tracts are much more important to wildlife habitat than a bunch of scattered smaller tracts. So this, is expanding that conservation area, very critical for wildlife. Also, there was a restriction there about no timber harvesting, but it does allow for a salvage if we have a disease outbreak or a storm. It blows down the trees. We are able to salvage them, so there wouldn't be a total mess there. Well, that's all I had.
Thank you.
Louise Cobb, Minterville Road. So other than allowing the deer to cross and that it abuts to the L-chip conserved land, what is so special about this piece? Somebody can answer that question for me.
Rob, do you want,
I can answer that. I think.
if you come to the mics and we'll pick you up on the streaming, thank you.
This is Rob Knight, and I think what makes this piece of land special is that the owner of the property cares enough about it to donate it to the land. So what the town is really, it's a gift to the town. And I think that's what it makes it special.
Well, I guess in general, I just have an issue. I was glancing through the natural resources inventory that the Conservation Commission put on. Very excellent job, by the way. I mean, it's really very thorough and very interesting. But I guess at some point, it seems like the priority is to keep saving and preserving. So this one is going to be given to us and just going to pay for the legal fees. But 70% of the town of Hopkinton is forested. 17.5% is already land conserved by open space easements or conservation easements or as government owned. That doesn't include the 3,150 acres that the Hopkinton Everett Flood Control Reservoir owns, and 5.2% of Hopkinton is water. So when you look at all that, it's like, when are we going to start thinking about where can we expand on either businesses or housing? And to me, that has to start jumping into a priority. This particular piece of land, I guess, is going to have the problems. I take there's no house there now. It's just a piece of land.
Yeah, that's right.
That's correct.
All right, so this one seems like a done deal, but it's just, we keep preserving, we keep, willing and dealing with these people that have large chunks of land. And I guess it's a little frustrating to me that we can't seem to work together. I mean, there's land that could be developed on a part of it, and the rest of it, because of wetlands or whatever the issues are, or whatever the value, I should say, of that land is, that we can't work together and make it so it works for everybody in the community, instead of just like, nope, we can't build houses, or nope, we can't put industry there. There is a way that we can work together and do both. Other communities figure it out. We should be able to figure that out. I just hear a lot of reasons why we can't do things. I don't hear a lot why we can't do things jointly together and work together to solve the problems.
Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? Going once, going twice, and we have no one online, right?
I think there was one person on.
Just what?
Okay. All right. Well, I think we can close the public hearing. And now, do we need a vote to accept or approve the acquisition? Okay.
Yes.
Any discussion before we?
I would just
Fine.
note that looking at the topo, I mean, it looks like this property has some elevation change to it, which makes it maybe not ideally suited for some sort of development. But I hear what you're saying, Louise, and certainly share that concern. But I don't know if this particular parcel is the one to block the acquisition for some other purpose.
Yeah, and I think, as Rob noted, the fact that it's a gift, a generous gift to the town, and that's the wish of the person gifting the land, that seems to be a key and core element to the whole thing. So although your points are well taken, Louise. Okay, any other discussion? All right, I will move that we, I don't have it open. Let me see. I'll move that the town accept the acquisition of property. Do we need to say the exact untaxed map lot 259-029-000? Is that sufficient?
That does.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, it's unanimous.
And
All right,
and then the conservation should probably vote the same thing
What was the motion? To accept the,
to accept the deed.
and we do have a forum here of conservation commissioners. All in favor or any discussion on the motion? Seeing none, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you.
thank you.
And I
Thanks,
have-
Rob, for,
And I have the deed, which will get
Okay.
recorded now. And thank you,
great. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
just in case.
I'll add this to Brady's stack of stuff.
Okay.
All right. That leaves us with we did updates with just public forum. If anyone would like to speak, now's your chance for a public forum. As everyone leaves. All right,
He left.
looks like we don't have, there's no public comment tonight. So, thank you everyone who joined us tonight. We do have other. Does anyone have anything else for other?
Yes.
All right, Thomas has an other.
I wanted to bring up, Jeff and I have been discussing doing sticker checks at the transfer station. And probably not next weekend, but just want to get the ball rolling. I don't know if you had thoughts or if now's not a good time to talk about it, but
No, Jeff sent an email today. Yeah, about, we just want to
Just-
coordinate with staff
Yeah.
and it sounded like you wanted to sell green bags there and have stickers and
I don't know if selling green bags is a step too far, but I mean, so at least for me, my primary concern is that there's been a lot of discussion about other people, other towns or other people from outside of Webster and Hopkinton coming to use the transfer station. The NHRA report specifically listed as a thing. It seems like every town meeting, people come and say, when are we gonna do something about that? But there's no indication as to whether or not that's really a problem or not. So to me, my primary concern is just understanding, is this a real thing or not? Every time I go to the transfer station, I do a very informal, just all the cars are there, just look to see if they have stickers or not. I'm seeing less than 20% have stickers. I know that when I
Oh.
moved to town, I didn't know there was a sticker requirement for months. So it's just that, to me, it's just a big unknown. And I would rather know so that if we have discussions, it's not a kind of like missing data point. So my primary interest is just being there and just counting cars. If they don't have stickers, if they have IDs for Hopkinton or Webster, give them a sticker for Hopkinton and Webster and then continue on with Dick.
And some of what we've done is prepared things in the past to hand people
Yeah,
to explain rather than necessarily turning people away immediately, but making it an education process.
Mhm.
right. I mean, like if someone shows up with like a giant dumpster from Concord, I think we have every right to say you can't dump this here.
Absolutely.
But I don't see it as like an enforcement type thing. I think it's more of a, let's get some accurate count of, is this really an issue?
Mhm.
People who don't have stickers should have stickers, give them stickers.
I think that's helpful. We'll also put together information on our haulers that haul in, which ups most town transfer stations don't take haulers. So we should be separating that, which is paid for by the hauler when we're doing an apples to apples comparison. So, but it would be good to hear
Yeah,
how many.
see what, yeah.
So is this something you need us all to
So I
come
don't,
hang out?
I don't know. Jeff and I are happy. Jeff and I have discussed it. We're happy to just go show up at the transfer station for a couple hours on a Saturday. I don't think we need, and if really if the primary purpose is to figure out a count and just get more information, I don't think we really need more than that. I think the very thing is making sure that we're not causing any problems, making sure that Webster knows that we get stickers to give out. We have a information sheet, what we'd want to have on there.
I guess my concern is that I want to make sure it's educational. And if you guys do see, to use the sort of hypothetical example, a dumpster from Concord, that I don't think it should be you guys telling them they need to leave. You should probably have Jolene or someone of the transfer station do it. Just because it's, you guys are just kind of there collecting information.
Thank you for, doing this. I
see.
wonder if you'd want to see if a member of the Webster Select Board would
Mhm.
want to join you.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
All right, that's a good other.
Operationally, do you have any other notes about?
No, but we can touch base before
Okay.
you get, because we'll talk to Jolene and connect you with her and make sure. I know Jeff had mentioned maybe setting up between the recycling and where you come down, but where we've done it before is always where people stop to come to the hopper because they're already stopped. I don't think you want to stop them in another place, but that's all
Yeah.
easily figured out.
Do you have thoughts on this?
Well, I just had a question. Is there any restriction on people from out of the Hopkinton and Webster community going there and basically just taking all of the various, the valuable metal that, I mean, because I've seen a lot of that going on, but maybe they're residents, but to me, that's taking money away from the town. I mean, is that something that we care about, or is this strictly if you're coming to dump your garbage, you need to have that sticker, but you don't need a sticker if you're coming to basically load up on.
Have you seen that recently?
I have seen it. Yeah.
Like in
every
the-
time I go,
In the last few months?
I mean, I've been known to pick a few things off the scrap pile myself, but I figure I'm in town and, I don't take that much. And I'm not taking it to then go to Schnitzer or whatever that place is and, cash in it.
Because I thought we had dealt with that, and if we haven't, we will.
Well,
If
maybe
it-
it was worse.
If it's been
You know,
recent.
It's like everybody stops and looks because there's gotta be something good there, right?
My general understanding is the transfer station is for the members of the two towns, and the people who are not in those two towns shouldn't be doing really anything there.
And unless it's on the swap table, you should,
Right.
residents shouldn't be taking things
Yeah.
either.
Okay, cool.
Thank you, Thomas.
Yeah.
and Jeff.
All right.
It's all Jeff, by the way. I'm just-
Thank you, Jeff.
And
not
his role on the waste
Yeah.
reduction committee, so it's good.
He's gonna be in North Dakota that day anyway.
Thank you guys for coming. I think that will conclude the public part of our meeting, and we do have two non-publics.
Actually, there's one
Oh.
more having to do with leasing.
Oh, so we have three,
Non-public?
sorry, three
Oh,
non-publics.
So 3 that got added
All right, so
today.
after this, we will adjourn and not conduct any other business.
Actually, I just remembered, Neil, you had said something about a meeting with the fair either tomorrow morning or the following morning.
I sent you things, but that's part of,
That's,
we'll come back to that.
okay, all right.
Okay, so. We good? All right, so I'll move that we go into non-public under RSA 91A32C reputation. We have two of those and also 91A32. Whatever it is for
D.
D, I think it's D. For leasing
I'll second.
or property.
That.
Simon?
That's mine.
That's just for you?
Yeah, that's my select board file.
It is D.
Okay. Little
D, little D. Okay, I will move that we do that.
Second.
Okay. Is this roll call? Roll call. Stephen,
Yes.
Ken,
Yes.
I mean, yes.
Yes.
Thomas, yes. All right, great. Thank you everyone for joining us tonight.